Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Till Death Do Us Part.
Good evening, good evening. Thank y'all for being on point, like y'all was waiting for us to tune in. And then all of a sudden the viewers started coming in. So thank y'all for being so faithful. Hi, Latanya. Hey, Leslie. How y'all doing today? Hey, Miss Florence. Good seeing you yesterday. Thank you for coming out. Hey, Shani.
Y'all make sure y'all keep us informed about how we look on y'all end and how we sound, and make sure that no technical difficulties are taking place.
Hi, Mr. David Williams.
Hello, everyone. What's up, Mr. Dave, down in Florida?
Robin, hey, Robin.
Get everybody in.
If y'all can go ahead and share real quick so we can get some more viewers coming in at the top of the hour. It's 7:08, so we want to go ahead and get started. But go ahead and share this video. Shanique, I'm going to hurt you, Shanique. I need to come in your closet and search that through and through.
Waiting on y'all. We waiting on a few more viewers, and then we'll go ahead and start. All right, guys. Once again, welcome to today's show. We thank everybody for tuning in. We want to open up real quick like we always do with a quick prayer, and then we'll go right into our topic. So let us start. God, thank you for allowing us to be here on today. We ask that you would condition our hearts and our minds to be ready to receive everything that we will talk about on this show. We ask that it be given in love and received in love. We ask that any ill intentions or any bad energy, negative energy that may be coming across these airwaves, we ask that you block it right now. And we ask that through these shows and through this platform, oh God, that you would allow somebody to be able to live a more better, well-rounded life, and a life that you have designed and purpose for them to live. And we give you all the praise and the honor in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 Hey, Sister Lindra. Missed you yesterday, you and the family. Hope
What's up, Portia?
well. Hey, Portia, Jerry.
Listen, let me tell y'all something, man. Yesterday at the temple, we had an awesome time all day. When I tell you, like last night, oh my goodness. I mean, I thought we wasn't gonna never make it out of there. Smoke filled the temple, and the glory of God just fell in that place. And we had an awesome time. Pastor Eartha Carter came through, and she blessed so many people. We had so many prophets and prophetess in the house operating under their gift. And when I tell you, like, so many things was confirmed and so many people's lives was transformed and changed, like you literally had to be there. It was like things that you hear of like in the Bible days, a Pentecostal experience. You really had to be there. The next time I tell you guys we having this type of service, you please need to come. You need to come. I'm gonna be honest, if it would have been a little bit more people there, we probably would have been at capacity. So I just want you guys to know, when we tell you that something's going down at the temple, if I didn't believe it was going to be a real big move of God, I wouldn't have put the emphasis on it that I did. But I did because I knew that God was going to show up, and he definitely exceeded our expectations. So anyways, I digress from what we're talking about. What we're talking about today, and I'll be trying so hard to get away from relationships on this show, and me and my wife, we go back and forth with what we're going to talk about, and sometimes she be like, oh, we talking about that again? And I'll be like, yeah, whatever. But the thing is, oftentimes, and shout out to her because she redirected the direction in which the show was supposed to go on last Monday, and it was actually a good show. And I think it was probably the best one of this season, if I'm not mistaken. What y'all think? So,
I can't remember. Oh yeah, shacking up. Those of y'all that watched last week, what y'all think about that topic? I know it was very touchy. A lot of us don't like to talk about that. Shacking up, so to speak, and giving our opinions on it. But it's just something that got to be talked about.
Yeah. So anyways, you done? You want me to finish?
Yeah, no.
Oh,
the new viewers, hey, all y'all new viewers, thank y'all so much.
Hey, Latanya Adams.
Yep,
hey.
Latanya. Who's this?
Who is that?
Made
don't know.
Man.
I know who it
name?
is, but I just can't think of it right now. Made Man. I know who it is. I just can't think of it
Lakeisha
right now. I think that's
Richardson?
I don't want to. I think I know. Yeah.
Oh.
Lakeisha. I know who Lakeisha is. Thanks for tuning in,
Hey
guys.
Cheryl, we missed you yesterday, girl.
Yes.
Yeah, we missed you.
Missed you on yesterday. Yep. I know for you not to be there had to been an emergency or had to been something very, very important. So, anyways, looking forward to seeing you again on Sunday, though. Let's go right into it. What is the topic on today's show? What?
Number one reason.
Number one reasons why relationships don't work. Yes. I want to know. Please let me know. I can only tell you what I think, but y'all let me know. I just think that with me being married for 14 years, like the reasons why I think they didn't work and why you guys might say they don't work, it could be different from what it was back then. So if y'all had to say, just throw out there, if y'all had to say like the number one reason why maybe most of the relationships that you were in that didn't work, or why you think relationships don't work.
Hey Denise, thank you for getting that Wi-Fi off that plane and using it to tune in. Thank you. Hey Lori.
Denise said she gonna hear this special announcement. Yeah, so y'all let me know. I'm gonna tell you one of the number one reasons I could say why. I was just gonna say that, Jerry. That's my cousin, y'all, Jerry Brasford. I was just gonna say that. Communication, I believe, is the number one reason why relationships fail, and because even it could even be from the beginning of the relationship, even sometimes through the middle of the relationship or towards the end of the relationship. I believe that if you communicate, well, most of the time I found out in relationships that I've been in that in the beginning, you don't fully communicate everything that you're expecting out of the relationship. So somewhere along the way within the course of the relationship, a person gets blindsided by something that they didn't expect to receive from the relationship or not receive from the relationship. And it probably wasn't communicated well at the beginning of the relationship. So, yeah, I think communication is a good one. Portia also said that involving other people in your business, that is definitely a huge one. Involving other people in your business, that's right, because a lot of times people have their opinions about your relationship and about what they think you should or shouldn't be doing or whatever the case may be. And the truth of the matter is, they're not in your relationship, so there's no way they can have a full, well-rounded view of everything that's taking place. And a lot of times for weak people, what would happen is they would begin to allow other people to persuade how they engage and how they respond in their relationship or to the person that they're in the relationship in. So it's always best to kind of keep a closed, door when it comes to your relationship. I definitely believe that that's something that should be very key. So yeah.
I also think that one of the number one reasons why relationships fail is in the beginning of relationships, a lot of us try to pretend that we're something that we're not, and we want to impress the person so much because we're flattered by that person or we want them to like them. And so as the relationship gets older, we can't continue to pretend that we're that person because eventually your true colors will come out.
That's
and
right.
then so the person that you're with, almost like they're held hostage to something that they thought that you were. And so I think pretending that you're somebody that you're not, that's one of the number one reasons why relationships fail. Because
Right.
They're like, hold up, I didn't sign up for this.
That's right. That's definitely true too. What y'all think about that? People coming into these and this not to go back to last show, but this is why I say, you really got to be careful when you're taking an approach to a relationship and how well you really know a person and how well can you really know a person without certain things taking place within that relationship. You know what I mean? I long for a time where, people would be, especially with somebody that they're thinking about spending the rest of their lives with, people would become more naked and not ashamed. You know what I mean? Like even in the Garden of Eden, one of the first things that happened when they took from the forbidden fruit, one of the first things that happened was they became ashamed because they realized they were naked. You know what I mean? And my thing is, you know, when you come into a relationship and you really start to get to a place to where you're like, you know what, I'm kind of feeling them. You know, I think that, you know, this can be something. I think it's in that moment that you got to begin to take off the layers and begin to open yourself up and bear, like, just literally, look, here I am. This is who I am. Take it or leave it. Because if the foundation of your relationship is based on truth and nakedness, and people know and see what they're getting when they come into this relationship, then at least you can give yourself the benefit of the doubt of saying, I didn't hold anything back. I did not lie to them about nothing. I showed and exposed them for who I was. And when they still love you in spite of that, that makes that love mean that much more. And if they decide to leave because of it, then that's on them. That's their loss. And at least you say, I gave myself the benefit of the doubt of letting them know who I was. If they couldn't handle who I was, they wasn't the one for me. Yeah. What you think?
Not only that, I mean, in addition to that, when you're in a relationship with someone, up front, you need to let them know if you are looking for a committed relationship or not, or if you're just dating. Because a lot of times, especially as women, we assume that our men are looking for a commitment, and if they're not looking for a commitment, and then we're thinking that they're attached to us only, and then we start getting feelings and everything like that. And so when they show us differently that they're not in a committed relationship, then we get upset because both of us weren't honest about what type of a relationship we were looking for.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
Like looking towards marriage or looking towards long, you know, a long relationship.
Let me share a quick story with y'all. Well, shoot, I can't really disguise who it is because my wife only got one sister. But anyways, my sister-in-law, she was real skeptical about dating. Sorry, Tasha. She was real skeptical about dating. And she used to always come to me and be like, you know, well, I don't know about this and I don't know about that and I don't know about it. And I used to be like, relax, you just dating. You don't need to know what their credit score is right now. You don't need to know what they 6 years from now, you know, what their plans are and what their goals are and all of this stuff like that or whatever. But in hindsight, I'm looking and I'm saying to myself, wait a minute. If that is what you're looking for, and this is the criteria that you initially want to go in, then you know what? That's exactly what you should be doing. You should really, you know, but you have to communicate that over to who you're actually going to engage with. You know what I mean? Because, like Nika said, I have never had a woman come up to me and say, hey, look, I'm going to go out with you, but I'm looking for something long term. I'm not dating just to date and, oh, let's see where this go. I'm dating because I'm hoping that from this date 1, it will be a date 20. And from date 20, it would be the day he proposed to me. And then from the day he proposed to me, it'd be the day he got married. And I believe that if women go into, you know, and even men, if we go into the first date with our real ultimate long-term goal intentions, I believe that the relationship would turn out better. I believe it would have a better shot because you know what you're getting. It's kind of like when you go for a job interview. You know what I mean? You want to know what your job description is going to be. Because at the end of the day, that determines on how much money you're going to accept for that job. You know what I mean? That determines on whether or not you believe you have the mental stability to deal with that job. So that's just how it is with a relationship. You know what I mean? Somebody take you out on a date, you need to, hey, look, you know, okay, this is what I want from this date. You know, like how they ask you what salary you want. You know what I mean? Well, this is what I want for this date. Now, it may be a girl that say, well, oh, look, I can't give you that. This particular thing is set. It's a fixed salary, you know, so to speak. I'm using an analogy, but it's a fixed salary, you know, like now there's room for raise. So in other words, you know, to be honest, I'm not really looking for nothing serious. However, you know, I'm open to the possibility, and whatever happens, you know, and, you know, depending on where things go from here, you know, I mean, that probably would have been my line or something if a girl was asking for commitment back in the day. But, you know, and then it's up to them whether or not, you know, you fit the criteria for what they want. They could also say, you know, oh, well, you don't fit the bill. I'm sorry, it's probably going to be our last date. And if that be the case, oh, well. But at least later on down the road, when they start hitting you with questions like, you know, when I'm going to meet your parents or when I'm going to meet your kids, if you told them from Jump Street that really wasn't what you was looking for, then you can always say, well, look, you know, I never told you that was going to be a possibility or whatever, or blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? But make sure I believe it would be a better chance of working if you be up forward with not only what you don't want, but what you do want, and don't kind of just leave it open out there, because they can always come back and be like, well, you never said you didn't want that either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of times, just because you didn't say you do want it, it still doesn't mean that you said you didn't, and it just leaves it up for happenstance.
Yeah. Hey, Pastor Lawrence, Yvette, Shanine. Hey, y'all.
Hello,
Thank y'all for
everyone
tuning in.
who just came in.
Yeah, so I totally agree. I mean, when you don't say what you want or you don't want, it leaves room for the other person to fill in the blanks. And so
Right.
I can fill it in with whatever I can assume, whatever I want to assume, because you weren't straightforward with me. So I think in relationship, we have an obligation to the other person to let them know, for our sake, what we want out of that relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
I got a lot of I agrees. Hello. Anybody, this is another thing I wanted to add, you know, until y'all hit me with some more comments and stuff. Anybody, ever, got into a relationship and a person told you one thing, and then by the time you realize what they were saying was a lie, you was already in love, and you may still be in a relationship and just decided to maybe compromise because you was in love, or maybe you lowered your standards even because you was in love, or whether you got out of it or not. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times, you know, this happens. I know that happened to me one time before. I got into a relationship, you know, and I was thinking one thing, and then once I realized it was something different, you know, I was already in love. And it was like, dang, you know, what do I do? Because now my heart is so involved to the point to where my mind knows that, you know what, this ain't what you signed up for. However, it's a battle and it's a war within yourself between these two. And a lot of times our heart gets the best of that battle, especially when we're in love. So anybody ever been in that place? Let me get this comment. Tony said, I believe honesty will always make things so much better. Yes. Let me tell you something. When me and my wife got married, I didn't ask her to promise me anything other than be honest with me. That's it. I didn't promise her. I didn't tell her. I didn't promise fidelity. I didn't want her to promise me fidelity. I didn't want her to promise me no money, no clean my house every day, cook food all the time. None of that stuff. I said, if you do one thing for me, just one thing, tell the truth, we will be fine. I'm telling you, honesty for me, honesty was more important to me then than even love. I didn't even tell her to love me forever. I just told her to not lie, period. That was all I asked. So yeah, honesty will make things so much better. And another thing too is, when you asking for this honesty, you have to make sure that you are equipped to deal with the honesty that you're going to receive. Because, like I said, I asked my wife for honesty always, and it was some things that she was honest about that it really took prayer, and it really took my love for her, and it really took God for me to take that honesty and do what Jesus would do. You know what I mean? Do what God would do, you know, because I believe that, you know, especially in a marriage, if you receive honesty, whether it's good or bad, I believe it's your obligation, men, for your woman to take her, cover her, nurture her, and rebuild whatever it was she was honest about that you would have rather not hear. Rebuild it into molding and shaping the desired result that you would want, because she came with the honesty because she wanted you to make it better. Oftentimes when women are being honest, that's because they're trying to cleanse themselves or free themselves or strengthen a certain area that's weak. You know what I mean? A lot of times when men are being honest, it's because we got caught in our lie, or we tired of lying, or we intentionally trying to hurt. You know what I mean? Men, y'all can speak up for yourselves. I don't want to speak for all men. That's why I say a lot of times. That might, you know, so if y'all disagree, you know, come on. I ain't trying to spill all the beans.
Robin said, always remain friends. And I have to agree with that 100%. Like, even like David and I, when we used to have our little issues and stuff, we always had the baseline of, regardless of what, we will remain friends. And so remaining friends can a lot of times salvage their relationships. Right. You know, you have to we're friends first. And so if I love you as a friend, then as my friend, I'm going to do XYZ, towards you. And that can help build that bridge back to having that healthy relationship.
Right.
So
right.
always remaining friends. That's a great point.
Well, I want to say this. I ain't knocking y'all. And we friends. We are, But at the end of the day, and this is just me, and I hope God deal with me on this. But my thing is this, right? If we're in a relationship, right, and the relationship doesn't work, and I know I'm not going to get a lot of people to agree with me, when the relationship ends, I'm not saying be enemies, but if you could have been friends, then why did the relationship have to end? That's just my, because that's just my point. I believe that when people split and be like, oh, we can still be friends, that's because deep down, it's a part of them that don't ever want to leave that person. And if there's any part of you that's still connected to somebody that you were once in love with, I think that you need to get that part back. If not, then maybe you might have terminated that relationship prematurely. Because if me and my wife was to separate for whatever reason and we still can be friends, then that means that there was something left worth holding on to where we did not have to separate. And we should have found or figured out a way to strengthen that thing in order for it to happen. But that's just my opinion.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that.
I mean, hey, give your opinion.
The reason why I say I don't agree is because just by, and this is not from personal experience, but just experience with my parents, like my mom and dad, they weren't good cohabitating together and being in a relationship, but they always remained friends. They always remain friends for 30, 40 some odd years later, and they're really good friends, but they weren't good together as a couple. Okay. And they both didn't want to have that relationship. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So now,
but see, here's the thing. And this is speaking on that too, because I always compliment how well your mother and your dad interact. However, that still leads me to believe that the relationship had ended prematurely because there was something there worth salvaging, because I've seen your mothers drop everything to be there for your dad. And I know your dad would give your mother his right arm. I know at some point he would have given her his right arm. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know about now, but you know what I mean? But
I think it's worth some things may be worth salvaging, but is that one thing or two things that's worth salvaging enough to salvage the entire relationship and everything that comes along with it? You know what I'm saying? Like, just because we may be compatible in one area, is that big enough for us to have a whole lifetime together? You know what I'm saying?
But see, this is the thing. It's not about compatibility, because if you're not compatible, you know what I mean, then you're going to be miserable in that relationship. But friends are compatible. You understand? Your mom and your dad are compatible.
Do you think you can be compatible romantically and separate, a compatible friend versus a compatible mate?
I believe that if you and I was to split and we was to still remain friends, I couldn't be with nobody else, because it would be problems. It would be problems.
Then we can't remain friends.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
What do y'all think? Do you think that you can still be somebody's friend if y'all both choose to, and not have strings attached, or not have a romantic tie to somebody? I think it's possible if you really both know. Look, I can't be with you. I just can't.
See, let me tell you. You can still. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I say the only way I believe that. See, that's crazy, because I'm thinking about one of my real good friends who I was in a relationship with, and we definitely are just friends. But But see, this is the thing though. But it's like I don't know. It's like it's crazy. I can't. Well, put it this way. Okay. For the lack of better terms or a different scenario, I can't say that we're friends. The reason why I say that is because we're not enemies, but friends talk to each other every day.
No.
Friends, that's how I envision friendship being. You know what I mean? That's how I envision friendship being. You know what I mean? But
anybody can Google the word friendship real quick and let us know what friendship means.
I mean, no, not but not the definition per se. But but anyways, yeah. you know, like I said, you know, like it's just tough. You know, it's just tough. And you know what? No, let me backtrack that. You know, and I'm going way back I'm going way back because I just thought about that. We are friends, but I'm going way back to my teenage years. We are friends, you know what I mean? But however, this is my thing. Like I said earlier, maybe the relationship was ended prematurely. You know what I mean? Without ever seeing if there was something still left there to work on. And that's fine. If you ended a relationship prematurely or whatever, that's fine. That don't mean you got to go back and try to fix it. So yeah, I would definitely say that person that I'm still friends with, yeah, it probably was ended prematurely. And it probably was something that was still there and left and something that was still left worth working on and building on. But the truth of the matter is, neither one of us wanted to stay and work on it and build on it. And there's nothing wrong with that either. You know what I mean? So yeah, shout out to all my friends out there.
But that's the thing. It's a difference between knowing that there's something there and not knowing. Like if you know there's something, a reason why you can stay, if you chose to do so, that's different than just, you know, just leaving.
But what you said earlier was, you know, is the reason. And it wasn't about salvage and everything else. You know what I mean? Because back then, I especially was like, you know what? If we can't be lovers, we can't be friends. But it just so happened after growing up and becoming a man, you know, and the other person being mature enough too to understand, you know, that that's all it would ever be is just friends. It made it work. You know what I mean? And another thing is you said that, you know, is it worth messing up everything else just to try to hold on to that one part that's in a relationship? See, my thing is, it was a thing where, yeah, it might be something worth holding on to that we can build on and fix everything else. But I just wasn't willing to make that sacrifice with these particular individuals. You know what I mean? So it was easier for me to say, you know what? I know it's still something there left that can build on. I just don't have the energy or the strength or I'm not emotionally stable enough to deal with, to fight for it. Yeah, that ain't the fight I'm trying to take. So I'm out of here. You know what I mean? So, you know, and that was the case. And I believe that was the case in your mom's and your dad's situation. You know what I mean? Because like I said, man, like whenever I saw them together, you know, they was like, I admired it. You know what I mean? I was like, dang, you know, like I wish you would be like that, you know, with me if we was to split or whatever. You know what I mean? But, you know, like the way they interact, everything, it was great. But it must have been at some point in time where she realized and he realized, hey, you know what? Even though all that's great and I can build off that, it's not worth the fight, you know, to have to fix all of these other things and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so yeah, I get it. My brother said, hold on, let me see what Daniel said. Sometimes it just doesn't work. The compatibility isn't there. That, like I said, if you're not compatible, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to want to stay. You know what I mean? But I've seen a lot of people stay in relationships even though they wasn't compatible. But I haven't seen a lot of people happy in relationships that they're not compatible in. And like I said, ladies, men, you know what you're looking for off tops. You know, and a lot of times we like to cop out and say, well, you didn't show me that, or you didn't this, you didn't that. At the end of the day, some things we can see and we can tell for ourselves. Like, we don't really need nobody to actually tell us these things or whatever the case may be. But things like abuse, there's no way you could really see that coming unless they abuse you before you got into the relationship. You know, I always say, like, you got to look for signs. This is my little code me and my sister-in-law made up for people who we think are abusive. We call them wrist grabbers. You know, grab your wrist. One of the first signs is if a man grabs your wrist when y'all walking instead of grabbing your hand, that means he's possessive and he's controlling and he will definitely hit you. That's just my thing. I don't know. Y'all just be mindful of that. If you walking with somebody and he supposed to be trying to be romantic and hold your hand and he grab your wrist, he gonna smack you one day. Anyways, I'm not laughing at the act of being smacked. I'm laughing at the fact that I really believe this, y'all. I really believe that's one of my things I believe.
Hey, Miss Sheila. We missed you past
think
few
we missed a
Mondays.
couple.
Sabrina, Carlette, hey Carlette.
Hey, everyone.
Hey Shakan. Y'all share this video real quick
Hey, Trinetta.
with y'all friends. Cause
Trinetta, didn't we have a time last night? Oh my goodness, I'm still feeling it. I'm still feeling it. I'm still feeling it.
So Portia says, some people are better off as friends. Some people can't be a good mate, but can be a good friend. It's possible.
Oh man. Like I said, you know that like is
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But that's true. That's true. I can't even knock that. But like I said earlier, it still doesn't mean that there was not something there worth salvaging, you know, or worth for the sake of maintaining the relationship or keeping the relationship. Whether or not you did it, that was just on you guys, you know what I mean? But it doesn't mean it wasn't there. I believe if you can still be friends, that automatically lets you know there was something there that could have still have been saved. There was something that could have been saved. So if not, then there wasn't. You know, and either way it goes, fine. It is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
But Sheila says it takes two people putting in 100% to make a relationship work as a couple or a marriage. If one person is doing all they can to save the relationship and the other person is just laid back, it's harder.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
It takes more energy, more work. It's a strain
Right.
to be given more than the other person. Not being balanced.
And another thing is too, you know, when we start talking about who's giving this and who's giving that and who did this and who did that, when we start doing stuff like that,
Point fingers.
it's like everybody think they doing what they supposed to do. You know what I mean? At some point in time, especially in relationships, everybody think they giving sufficient funds and they're being adequate in whatever area. Everybody believe that. And if that's the case, if we're gonna have a war of who does what and who did this and who did that, we'd be here all day. We never get nowhere. But the truth of the matter is, like I said, you have to always be willing to say, I'm gonna outdo. Period. Like, you know, okay. Because at the end of the day, if you decide, like I know for me, I tell and even couples that we counsel, I always say, eliminate all excuses in your head. Do everything so much for the person that you are with. That way, at the end of the day, you can look yourself in the mirror and say, I did all I know that I could do to make this person happy or to make this person want me or to make blah, 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 blah. And it was not enough. That way you can walk away and never have to deal with the demons of, I wonder if I would have did this, if he would have done that. Or I wonder if I would have said this, if she would have done that. Or I wonder if blah, 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 blah. Because a lot of times you really it just boils down to what you give is not what's going to allow them to give you what you need. So it's really not a right or wrong. It's just not a right or wrong for me. You know what I mean? Because I could be one way and my wife can despise the way that I am. Then I can go and be the same way that I was to my wife to somebody else and they love it. This is why you can't point fingers in relationships unless it's something, you know, real drastic going on, like somebody's hitting the other one or you know, or anything that's dealing with physical abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse, any type of abuse. That's the only thing where I draw the line, like where opinion don't matter. You know what I mean? Like, because when you're being abused, that's facts. You know, opinion don't even matter at that point. But everything else, oh, well, I'm giving 100%, that's your opinion. Oh, well, they're giving 100%, that's still your opinion. You know what I mean? So it's just all about what you need, what you're getting and not getting. Like, if I'm lacking something in my marriage or whatever the case may be, and I go to my wife and I say, hey, look, I'm lacking blah, 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 blah. She may very well feel like she's giving me the thing that I say that I'm lacking. And if this is what she believes, she's not going to budge because she feel like she's doing what she's supposed to be doing. So now, and if I feel that, I have to say to myself, you know what? Okay, she thinks she's doing it, but what she's doing is not good enough. So we have to make a decision. Do we stay and we get what she think is enough? Do I stay and I end up receiving not enough? Or do I go and try to chase that what I know I need more of, or whatever the case may be, and vice versa. So what you
Yeah, that's a good question because our truth is like our reality, you know, and what we put out is what we think is our max capacity, and so that's where communication comes in. And then you mentioned earlier about compromising in relationships and saying, okay, well, yeah, I think I am giving everything that I have, but maybe I can push a little bit more, because if it's making my mate unhappy, or if they're feeling, you know, inadequate or whatever, then I can just give a little bit more of what I'm already giving and see if it works. You know, I mean, just
Right.
trial and error in a relationship. And then that brings me to like my next thing I was gonna mention today of why I think relationships fail. One of the things is when you get together at a very young age, and or not even a young age, but at a certain age in your life, and then you grow into something else, you mature into a different person.
Right.
If your mate is still thinking that you're the same person you was, you know, 2 years prior, you know, and you have matured in such a way, and then people call it when you grow apart in relationships, you know.
Or let's
That's
just
another
say,
reason
for
why.
lack of a better term, not to cut you off, but real quick, I want you to keep finishing. But let's just say, instead of matured to a different person, let's just say changed into a different person. Because when you say
Yeah.
matured into a different person, they might not see it that way. They might
Yeah.
think you got
Went
immature.
backwards,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? But go ahead. Finish.
Yeah. So when you change to a different person, or you know, you have a different characteristics now, because of whatever that reason may be, you know, is that, can you see that and accept that? Can you see that and can you accept that? You know, in relationships, that's one of the points that I think are one of the reasons why some relationships fail as well. You know, so and a lot of relationships do that. I know I've seen a lot of couples where they say, well, you know, I feel like we just outgrew each other, you know. Well, what do you mean you outgrew each other? You know, if you all both started out at different stages in life anyway. You had different experiences. You came from different households. You had different upbringings, you know, all that stuff. So all that plays into a factor as to where you are mentally, you know, in a relationship. And I think when one person is headed for a certain totem pole in a relationship and someone else is not, then you have to seek that balance. So, which I think about that, you know, the theory of outgrowing somebody in a relationship. You know, should you wait until they catch up to you, or just be like, you know what, I can't deal with you no more, I'm done. You know, what is that line? I think I just lost. I was trying to read a comment, but
Okay, while we
it's
waiting
not.
on this to come back up, because we good on that end.
Okay.
You gotta find where we are.
Yeah.
Hold up, guys. We trying to get y'all comments back up on this page, but yeah, what happens with outgrowing relationships, you know? And that's definitely
I mean, do you think you can outgrow in a relationship? You know,
I don't think you can outgrow a relationship. I think you can what's the word? This is why maybe I need to put it in a phrase versus a word. As far as outgrowing, I believe that what happens is you don't move together. You know what I mean? I believe that when you're in a relationship, this is how it's supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be like this, side by side, right? Or if it's not going to be side by side, every movement should be one. You know what I mean? I can't even say like if she get behind me and she's attached to me. No, it's either you're inside of her, she's inside of you, or you're side by side so you can cover more ground. So if you're moving together, then you would grow together. You know what I mean? Like most of the things that I do, my wife do it with me. Most of the things I do, I want my wife to do it with me. So at the end of the day, I believe that in relationships, if you stop doing things together, then it's not that you're outgrowing the relationship. It's that you're growing in different directions. You know what I mean? So it's like pretty much you growing apart. You know what I mean? So let's say, for instance, I always go to the movies with my wife. And one day she decides she don't want to go to the movies no more. Or one day I decide I don't want to take her no more. And I go by myself. Well, I just let her go. So now I went to the movies and she went to the mall. So that's more space coming in between us and we're growing apart. So it starts off, I go to the movies by myself. She goes to the mall. So now Hey, I just now got out the movies. What you doing? I'm still in the mall. How long you gonna be in the mall? I'm gonna be in the mall for about another hour. Man, I don't feel like waiting in no mall for no hour. Right? So now I got a decision to make. I don't feel like waiting for the mall in an hour. I'm going to get something to eat. Normally she'll go with me to get something to eat. But because I went to the movies without her and she went to the mall without me, we're not together no more. So now she's in the mall for an hour. I normally would go get something to eat with her. But instead of going to get something to eat with her, I don't feel like waiting an hour in the mall. So I go get something to eat by myself. And that moves me farther away from her. So then an hour later, she calls me, hey, what you doing? You still want to go get something to eat? Oh, I already ate. I'm on my way home now. Oh, all right, then, well, I'll be home in a minute. I'm getting ready to go and get me something to eat now. And then she goes get her something to eat. And you see how that gap in that space goes? Somebody has to be like, okay, you're going to be in the mall for an hour? All right, well, I'm coming out the movies. I'll drive to the mall and I'll meet you there. That way we can go get something to eat together after that. And always be trying to come together. Always trying to come together, because the minute you decide that you don't want to come together no more, you are going to grow apart. You are going to grow. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to stop what I came into my relationship doing. As far as, you know, if we go out every Friday, guess what? You better come with me every Friday. 'Cause I ain't going, I'm not staying home. You know, I'm not doing it. So when Friday comes, if you don't want to go, bye. But nah, I'm just playing. That was the old me. And that's what a lot of people do. See, but what you have to learn to do is you have to learn to stay connected. You have to learn to stay connected. Now, this takes a fight on both people's end. You know what I mean? However, one person may get to the place to where they say, you know what? I've done everything, because a person gotta want to hold your hand. A person gotta want to stay connected to you. So if you constantly saying, oh, you know what? All right, I know we normally go to the movies together. You know that, but you decided not to go with me to the movies, but that's fine. I'll stay home since you don't want to go. A person is only going to do that a few more times before they decide, you know what? I'm sorry, but I'm going to just go ahead and go to the movies without you. Now, are they wrong for that? No. But at the end of the day, when the relationship doesn't work, they're just as equally responsible as the person that stayed home. Because if they really wanted that relationship to work, they could have stayed home too. Would they have been wrong for staying home? No. Would they have been wrong for going to the movies? No. This is where they would be wrong at. Is if they leave the relationship or the relationship fell and then they turn around and blame the other one and say, I left the relationship because you stayed home when you know we normally go to the movies. Then you're wrong. Because if you wanted the relationship to work and you really was one with that person, then you wouldn't have left them. You would have stayed home with them. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, just choices.
You know what I mean?
The choice that you make. Yeah.
Let's say, for instance, if you're in a relationship with a guy, and let's say, because let's say I'll throw this out there, because a lot of relationships mess up too because of sex. A lot of people drive in the balance of, like, when y'all first started, boy, y'all was getting it every chance y'all could, everywhere. Y'all was all over each other everywhere. You know what I mean? Then a lot of times once you have kids and you get into marriage and things start to settle in and you become used to each other and all this, that, and the third, it slows down. Well, let's say it slows down for one person and it doesn't slow down for the next person. You understand what I'm saying? And let's say the one person feels neglected because they're not getting it as much as they used to, and they don't feel like you even desire to give it to them as much as you used to, and they can deal with it for so long. They can deal with it and be like, okay, I'm gonna keep on adding I'm gonna keep on adding fuel to the fire. I'm gonna keep on buying sexy lingerie so she can feel sexy. I'm gonna keep on running bubble baths with rose petals. I'm gonna surprise her on the job with candy and balloons. I'm gonna make dates. I'm gonna plan trips out of the country. I'm gonna send the kids to mama house and all this, that, and the third. Now, if you do all that and you still don't get the desired result, after a while, you're going to say, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and go out here and just do something else, because I'm tired of feeling like I'm the only one that wants to engage in the thing that we know used to be our thing to do. You know what I mean? So, and that's all well and good. If you decide that you want to do that now, I'm just saying in general, If you decide that, I use sex as an analogy, but with anything, if you decide that you want to go and do something different because of what you're not getting here, then just be a man or a woman about it. When the relationship ends, take responsibility in the fact that you ended it too. You know what I mean? Like, you could never turn around and be like, oh, well, I left because you wasn't giving me enough sex. What if she felt like she was? I believe the bottom line should be, or he, you know what I mean? I believe the bottom line should be, hey, I left because I no longer had the ability to do what it takes to make this relationship last or to sustain this relationship. Period. One thing I never did, because me and my wife, I'm gonna let you chime in after this. One thing I never did, because me and my wife have been to the point more than once to where we were gonna split. One thing I never did was told her it was her fault. One thing I never did was been like, oh, we're not gonna work because you did blah, blah, blah. Even when she said you this, you that, you blah, 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 I still was like, you know what, I apologize. I cannot play victim here. You know what I mean? But go ahead, what you want to say?
No, I just wanted to, before the comments started getting deleted,
Okay.
like last week. So, Portia said, I think you should wait until they catch up, unless it's physically and mentally tearing you down as an individual. So, I think her point is have patience with the person you're with. Mm-hmm. Is it worth, because if you see y'all growing apart, you know, you should have patience with that person, you know, unless it's detrimental to yourself. Have patience.
Real quick,
you know.
Like I said, if you hold on to them, it won't be no catching up. I think that the minute y'all see that y'all getting ready to go in different directions, y'all need to grab each other real tight and pull each other in closer. Because that whole catch-up thing, ain't no if it would tear you down or if it will tear you down. If you allow yourself to go into a different direction than the other person that you're with, and y'all going in opposite directions, by the time y'all catch up to each other, y'all going to exhaust yourself. Y'all going to make the move forward harder. You know what I mean? I mean, just look at it literally. If y'all destination is to be a mile out in front, and you run a mile out in front and you get there, and your next journey is another mile out in front, but you got to wait on the person behind you, you stopping your mobility and you stopping your progress. And now because you're standing there already at the finish line of the mile marker, waiting on the next mile, you got to wait on somebody else to play catch up. It's a lot of things that can take place while you're waiting. You know what I mean? It's a lot of things that can happen while you're waiting. You know what I mean? So that's why I say move together. Always move together. Always move together.
Yeah. She also said some people fall short in being consistent with their partner, you know, and just keeping up that energy and just knowing that, you know what, okay, we got to keep this thing new. We got to keep, you know, continue to do whatever it takes to make that person, like one of my mentors said that every day your goal should be to make your mate happy, like the happiest person that they can be, you know.
That's right.
That's true.
They said that?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So that should be your goal. Both of you, they told you that too.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, and in doing that, you will be consistent. You will do those things, you know, and you may not get to a point to where you have to catch up, or you'll be able to notice those signs and not ignore them and just address them immediately, you know. Yeah.
And here's the thing too, guys, you have to eliminate all excuses. Like, there's no excuse for why you don't feel like doing the things that please your mate, other than the fact that you don't want to. There's no excuse. Like, there is really no logical excuse other than unless it's a real physical, or you sick or something like that or whatever, you know, and or like if you really cannot do it, that's the only excuse. My thing is this is how I view certain things you want to do, certain things you have to do, and certain things you need to do. As an adult, I believe that you would know how to decipher all three of those things, and you would put those things into perspective. I used to think when I became an adult that I would be able to do what I wanted to do, and that symbolizes that, hey, you're an adult because you can do what you want to do. But once I became an adult, I realized that most adults know the difference between what they want to do and what they have to do, and the real mature men do what they have to do, even if what they have to do ain't really what they want to do. You understand what I'm saying? So Just take that.
Yeah,
Somebody,
we do that all the time.
somebody write that down and send that to me. I'm about to quote that and post that. Don't steal my quote. Somebody write that. So yeah. So what I was gonna say after that. Yeah. So that's the whole thing. So now, with that being said, I know the things that make my wife happy. I know the things that makes my wife feel loved. I know the things that make my wife feel appreciated. Even when she make me mad and I don't want to do it, I have to do it. Because as a man, it's my job to make sure that she is happy. I have to do that. You know what I mean? I can't make no excuses for it. So, and vice versa. You know what I mean? Of course, I know it'll be times where, she gonna be feel like all that. But I'm an all that type of person. Like, I want to do all that. You know what I mean? And I know it'll be times she don't want to do it, but she got to decipher, do I, as an adult, do I have to do what I have to do or what I want to do? And yes, women, contrary to popular belief, you do have to have sex with your husband. You have to. You know what I mean? You have to. I'm sorry, but we need this. We need to. Men need that. This is the way we were designed. We have better days at work when we get that. We are less stressed. We have less stress when we get that. We are more productive when we get that. The chemical in us that makes us better men, which is called testosterone, we produce more of that the more sex that we have. So yes, we need this. When you have a real man, if you really give him something every night, he is going to be more and more of a man. You know what I mean? So ladies, you have what it takes you can get your man to do anything you want to get him to do. If you do what you got to do. Now, go ahead. You want to speak on that?
I just want to read the.
Come on, men. Y'all got to say something.
Shanice said you better preach now, David. Okay, and Ms. Florence said that's the subject right there when you was talking about, and Portia said that, that would be a great idea, but she still believes that patience, is very important in her opinion. Waiting on the other person to kind of, because sometimes in relationships, they might not come along as quick as you want them to. You know what I'm saying? And
but you can't. This is the thing, though. You can't grow in different directions, though. That you can't. That's impossible. Like, my thing is, if I'm in a relationship with you, right? Let's say, for instance, you want to start having a family and you want to settle down and all of this stuff like that. But I still want to go out and party and blah, 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 blah. And I tell you, hey, babe, I don't want to have no kids right now because there's still some stuff I want to do. And you go ahead and you stop taking your birth control or whatever. And then you end up getting pregnant. And then now you expecting for me to stop and come and want to stop hanging out with the fellas and want to stop spending my money on clothes and all of this stuff like that. Well, when you decided that you was going to alter the methods by which we made sure we didn't have a child, and you put me out there to have to do X, Y, Z, one, you're wrong because we grew in different directions. You know what I mean? I believe at that particular point in time, you should say, well, I want to have a family now. And if you're not ready to have a family, then maybe this relationship ain't what we need to be in.
Right, and so that's my point. When you see yourself, when I use the term growing, but growing apart or growing, outgrowing that person. So still using communication, but like in my headspace, I'm outgrowing you because at this point in our relationship, I want to change the way that we're flowing and I want to have a family. So that's what I'm saying. Do you make the choice there to say, I'm going to wait until you are ready to do this? Or am I going to, just move on and wash my hands and keep going? I'm not saying, to make you make a decision that you don't want to make. Okay. We're saying that.
Okay, well, let me read what she's saying.
Yeah.
It's not growing to. Okay, look, if we both know we want, marriage, we both know we want kids, we both know we want success, but we don't want it as quickly as each other. You know what I mean? At that particular point, I need to ask you, hey, Nika, how quickly do you want this? If you say, well, I want this in 3 or 4 years, and I know that I'm not willing to wait 3 or 4 years, then that's where I need to say, hey, well, I'm not willing to wait that long. I'm going on about my business. But if you are willing to wait that long, you know what I mean? Patient, there's nothing wrong with that. However, you can't continue to move forward in pursuing, those things when that other person said 4 years. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, unless you want to waste 4 years.
Unless,
or
no,
not
not,
wasted, but
it's not even about wasting 4 years. It's about, you know, if I know that you said you don't want to be married into 4 years, then you know, anything other than getting married before 4 years should not really come into the relationship if you agreed to wait for those 4 years.
Yeah.
And I'm just using that for an example, guys. I'm not just talking about marriage or anything. Let's say, for instance, if I'll do you one better. When me and my wife first got married, she wanted to have a child right after we got married. I was like, no, I'm not ready for that right now. You know what I mean? Let's wait. She was like, well, you know, I want to hurry up and do this. She never put a time frame on it. I never put a time frame on it. So 3 years into the marriage, still, you know, we didn't she didn't have a baby. So she came to me again and she was like, look, you know, I want to have a baby, you know, I want to have it right now, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I really had to take into consideration if I was her, because I'm going to be honest, y'all, after my first daughter, I didn't want any more kids. So if I was her and she, you know, was me, and I was telling her, hey, I want a child, because men, a lot of times when the shoe on the other foot, when a woman already has a kid and we enter into a relationship with them, the first thing we want to do is get them pregnant as some type of sick way of claiming territory or whatever the case may be, or having a one-up on the baby daddy or whatever the case may be. This is how most guys tend to think sometimes when we're thinking immaturely. So anyways, make a long story short, I begin to think within my head after I start, you know, putting myself in her position, what would I have wanted her to do? You know what I mean? Would I have wanted her to make that sacrifice for me and be like, you know what, even though I'm not ready and I don't want to do this, this is a person that I said that I vowed to make happy. This is a person that is me now. Like, it's not like David and Nika. It's like we're one. I really view her as an extension of myself. So I say, you know what? If this is what I want, if this is what we want, then let's go ahead and do it. And then we went ahead and we made that happen. You know what I mean? Now, my thing is, but I made a decision to not leave her behind. And she made a decision to not leave me behind. We came back together, we reconciled, and we said, hey, you know what? Let's go do this together. You know what I mean? So, because it's just like, you know, something as simple as this. Let's say, for instance, if I want to move back to Brooklyn and my wife say, oh, I hate New York, because she does. I was trying to go back before we had kids. She wasn't trying to hear none of that. So, she like, you know, I don't like it. And I'll be like, well, you know what? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move up there. When you get ready, you can come. Like, it's not going to work that way because I just now went in a different direction from her. You know what I mean? So, Portia, I understand what you're saying as far as patience and all of that. Let me read another comment. This might be another show that might run over because we're already at 8:04. So we're going to keep going until the comments stop. Go ahead.
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay. Let me read Beverly. Hey, Beverly. Okay, due to my illness, my husband thinks I try to push myself too much. But I tell him I'm human and have needs. I mean, we still do the do and all, but he's more concerned about my health, even down to doing family thing. I can feel bad, but I still push myself. What do y'all think about this? I believe that, like I said, you know, if there's any type of illness and stuff like that, if you feel like you could do the do and all this, that, and that, by all means, you do your thing. You do your thing. But at the end of the day, your husband isn't wrong for wanting you to be safe and, you know, wanting to make sure that he puts your overall health, you know, in play and in place, you know. And shout out to him, man. Shout out to him. And I'm going to definitely be praying a special prayer for him, because a lot of people don't understand that, you know, when not only just illness, but, you know, with me having a wife that's in the military, you know, a lot of people think, you know, she deals with, you know, the bulk of whatever we deal with. But the truth of the matter is, you know, it's hard for a husband to see their wives sick or to see their wives going through something that ain't nothing we feel like we can do about it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure that he would probably give his life to be able to snap his finger and you be completely healed and everything. You know what I mean? And that's a toll and that's a burden, because as men, we want to, and I mean real men, we naturally want to be fixers. We naturally want to fix everything. We naturally want to fix the problem. We naturally want to make sure, especially our women, we naturally want to make sure that they don't have to worry, wonder, hurt, or anything. We want to be Mr. Fix-It all the time. And when we can't, it bothers us. Like, it really bothers us. We really stress. We really might even fall into a state of depression, anxiety, all of that stuff like that. Fellas, where y'all at, man? I need these women giving me all these comments. Where y'all at?
I agree with Beverly's husband. Shout out to him because to do that, like, just having that covering and protection for you, Beverly, I think that's really big of him, and I think that him being able to put himself aside and say, you know what, I want to make sure that you're here, longevity for,
whatever
for my family and for me, and I want to make sure that even if I have to risk or sacrifice my own needs to make sure that you are here and that you feel good,
right.
I think that's very, very outstanding to have that selfless type of love for his wife.
Right. Let me, and we probably get into this in another show, but I just want to scratch the surface. Like, I know we talk about being there and doing what, the next person wants, or blah, 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 this, that, and the third. But we have to really decipher that men and women need and want two different things. You know what I mean? For me, I don't know about all men, but for me, I need sex. It's not even a conversation of whether I want it. You know what I mean? Because if it was a want, then I can do without it. I need it. In order for me to be a more productive citizen in society, I need to have it. And it's natural. And y'all need to understand this too, all you sanctified people. Hey, sis, y'all need to understand it. Girl, go be on vacation. My sister in Dominican Republic. She in Dominican Republic, and she over here watching the show. Now that's faithful. So, anyways, let me get on this subject. I'm gonna have to use code words now. My leader's on. But yeah, like God designed sex. He designed this. So why is it that, one, the church don't really want to talk about it like that? Two, it's a whole book in the Bible, the Songs of Solomon, in which they talk about sex and pleasing your mate and all this. This is natural. God made this. So when I tell you I need this in order to be productive. You understand what I'm saying? In order for me to have a better day, I need this. You know what I mean? In fact, it's so and like I said in the last show, it's so concrete to a relationship that the Bible never refers to a man ever knowing his woman until after they had sex. So with that being said, women, what y'all need to do is check whether or not your man need this, because he may be crying out silently because you feel like you're giving him enough. And he don't want to tell you that you're not, because he don't want you to start thinking, oh, if I ain't giving him enough, then he must be cheating, or he must be this, he must be that. So, it won't hurt sometimes, ladies, to go to this lingerie shop and, get you something nice, lay it out on the bed. Your husband come home from work, he look at it and be like, yeah, when I get home, I'm gonna jump in the shower and this is what you're gonna get to see me in. Stuff like that, man, you would be surprised what it would do for your man. Y'all trying to figure out how to get them to act the way you want them to act and move the way you want them to move. Do stuff like that. And fellas, you know what I mean? Women are more sentimental, you know what I mean? Like, they like things like cards and roses for no reason, a little slight touch every now and then just for nothing, you know what I mean? Like, that starts, the day going and all of that. Send them a nice little text, you know what I mean? Hey, I just want you to know I love you. You the best woman in the world and all of that stuff like that. But more so than anything, not even just those little small things, women need security. Mm-hmm. Women need security. Women need to know that come hell or high water, you got my back. You're going to hold me down. I don't have to worry about how bills are going to be paid. I don't have to worry about how food is going to be on the table. I don't have to worry about our kids, where they are, what they're doing, how we're going to provide and take care. Women need that. So men, if you're not doing that, chances are it's going to be hard to get them to do the other things, you know what I mean? Because that's what they need, you know what I mean? And then along with the other little small sentimental things, you know what I mean? They need that. And for me, I remember talking to somebody and they asked me, what is one of the number one things that you need, as far as beyond sex as a man, because a lot of times people think we deal with mostly tangible things as far as what we need. But one thing a man loves, ladies, is affirmation. We love affirmation. We love being told that we did good.
Yeah.
We love being told that we did that's a great job, you know. And women, you know, y'all sometimes have the tendency to always point out what we do wrong. Why you say it like that? Why you did it that way? And why you did, and you always messing something up. You always coming under, well, all right, if y'all gonna do that, that's fine. Why not at the same time when we do good, y'all say, you know, I really like the way you handled that situation. Yeah. You know what I mean? I really like the way that tie look on you. And it's not even about the tie. It's about the fact that you're giving us affirmation that what we did was right. You know what I mean? So if you give us affirmation on what we did was right, that makes us want to do more of right. And to be honest, being, you know, in the field of psychology for so long, I want to date it back to when we were younger. You know what I mean? Dads most of the time didn't show that much affection, and dads most of the time didn't give that much affirmation in the era that I grew up in. So all we had was mommy saying, good job. Your mama gonna always praise every little thing you do, even from when you was a baby. Like how she do my son right now, it just makes me want to just kick him just for nothing, because I don't want her babying him up like that. So she's like, oh yeah, oh that's so great, look at you, you know your colors, you this and that, and blah, blah, blah. So as a man, we naturally grow up, and now we have yearned and we have been fed with so much affirmation most of the time coming from our mother. When we get up with our women, we want that same type of affirmation. We want that fuels us, that inspires us to want. Couldn't nothing make me show off like a bunch of girls telling me I was showing off and they liked it. That really made me show off. When I was coming up, when I was growing up, like I tell people, boy, everything I did was because I wanted the ladies to like it. And the more attention they gave, the more things I did to want it. You know, and that's how I am with my wife. The more she tell me I did good, the more I'm gonna want to do good. And I'm gonna try to see, can I outdo how good I did the last time? So, ladies, keep that in mind. Go ahead, you want to say something?
Yep. No, Portia said it's always easier for a person to point out your wrong than it is for them to point out your rights. Mm-hmm. Doesn't make it right, but it's true.
Yeah. I remember a long time ago. Go ahead. Let me say this real quick. I remember because you're gonna laugh when I say it. I remember a long time ago when me and my wife realized that we magnified each other's wrongs more than we did each other's rights. And I remember we made a vow to each other to say that we was not going to do that no more. Now, we never promised we wasn't going to point out what was wrong. But we said that whenever we point out what's wrong, if you're going to be loud about what I did wrong, you better definitely be even much more louder than what I did right. It's kind of like when a person offend you in public and then want to inbox you the apology. No. If you offend me in public, you ain't going to inbox me no apology. You're going to tell me in front of everybody you apologize the same way you offended me in front of everybody. So for everybody out there who offended me and be all in my inbox and texting me and want to come in, let me pull you to the side and all that, no. You're not going to disrespect me in public and then try to turn around and apologize in the inbox. Shout out to SRVC or whatever the name of that place was. But anyways, just speak on that a little bit, because a lot of times we get caught up in telling people what's wrong and we magnify it. Like I remember, like if she this funny, this will make Daniel laugh right here. I remember like when she would try a new hairstyle and I don't like it, I would be like, what in the world you got? What you did to your hair and all this and all that, blah blah blah. But then when she come in and she got a hairstyle that I do like, I'd be like, oh, that's nice. You know, and I had to check myself on that, because no, you can't be big and loud about, you know. Go ahead.
We just call it, I'm wearing a what was when I used to wear the bang? I don't know, when I used to wear the bang in the
was it a helmet or a hat?
A hat, yeah, I'm wearing a hat.
Yeah, she had this one hairstyle I called a hat or a helmet. I can't remember. Go ahead.
I just want to comment on what Portia said about, you know, magnifying what's wrong versus what's right. I think that goes back to our own self insecurities that we have, you know, because sometimes for some strange reason when we point out what's wrong with somebody else, it gives us like a sense of satisfaction, like we got like an upper hand on the other person, like, you know, you did that wrong, so that means that, you know, I have space to be right, you know. And I think that that in our own insecurities, we
Right.
feel like that's filling a void for ourselves. So I think self-reflection in that aspect will be very good to do. You know, why am I always saying that? You know, I'm always magnifying what he does wrong. You know, what's wrong with me that I can only, you know, realize or, you know, comment on what he's doing wrong and not what's right. You know, I think that's a personal self-evaluation we gotta do.
That's right. That's right. And fellas, let me tell you something, man. Y'all don't want to go to war with women when it come down to words and insults and stuff, because they will cut you deep. They will cut you deep, and they will have you hurt for weeks and weeks and weeks. Meanwhile, they done moved beyond what you done said to them, and we be swearing we be going in now. Like, we really think we be coming up with some dope and
Ain't that
deep
right,
stuff.
Portia? Because I know you know how to get down, dirty, low.
They be thinking, boy, I'm telling you, we be like, yeah, we done said something. And the whole time, boy, years later, you be sitting back in bed, laying beside her, being like, she told me, I wonder if she really meant what she said. You ever woke your woman up in the middle of the night and be like, hey, baby, you really meant what you said about what you said earlier? Yeah, man, that is something serious, boy. That is something serious. So, anyways,
Yeah.
we're going to go ahead and close the show. We went 15 minutes over.
Breakfast at 2 hours. But we should do like an hour and a half on some shows, you know.
I think
I
we
don't
should
know.
leave it right at the time. But if we in our own home. We can spill over into however long we want
so
to.
people, you know,
So
yeah.
just so y'all know, don't worry. We know we're not on a real time frame. It's just once we get, into a topic and we see that, the comments and things are beginning to slow down and we're spending a little bit too much time, we can always revisit. So y'all go ahead and share this. Thanks again for watching. We're going to get into some announcements real quick. Oh, we said we had a special announcement tonight.
Yeah,
right?
who waiting to be nosy? To
Ain't
see what
nobody
this-
say nothing about that, so
No,
we just going to
They
wait.
just waiting to be nosy.
No, we're going to wait till next show.
No, we can go ahead and do it now.
No, I don't want to do it.
Go ahead.
I don't wanna
I'll do it then. All right.
No, don't do it.
Okay.
Hey,
Well,
Leslie. Leslie, I thought you was on here already.
She probably got off in the back on.
Oh, okay. Anyways, hello. How are you?
She's talking about me. I know you was being nosy, Portia. That's the only reason why y'all stayed.
Look, because Portia, I ain't seen you on here in a while. Let me find out you only watch because you want to know what the announcement is. Let me find
Flip a
out.
coin. You want to flip a coin, Miss Florence?
Everybody
says
saying
she-
me. Everybody saying me. All right, guys. Well, this is what I want to tell y'all.
First, y'all go share this page.
Yeah,
right
go
quick
share.
Go share this page right quick, and then once everybody share, and then tell us you shared it, then we'll tell y'all.
Yeah. All
She's
right.
my God. She's my God told me
her
to.
Okay.
He was still in the spirit.
All right. Well, we are getting ready to be moving out of the country. Yes, y'all go ahead and let that
Uganda.
sink in. We're moving to Uganda, Africa. We decided that we want to go back to our roots. And she said she don't see the share button.
Should be in the top right hand corner.
Yeah, because I know it's public. And no, this is not military related or none of that stuff like that. We just decided we wanted to go live in Africa for a while.
Get our malaria shots and stuff.
Yeah, so. All right, y'all can go ahead with y'all comments and whatnot. Please don't call my phone nobody right now. Wait until we get off. No texts, none of that stuff like that.
All right, Portia, you can just share it. Promise to share it right after the show.
Yep.
Just promise to share it right after the show.
So, okay. While y'all letting that marinate, I guess y'all lost for words. So, while y'all letting that marinate, we'll go on with some other announcements. Once again, I want to tell y'all, we had a time last night, man. This is part of the reason why things are the way they are, But anyways, yeah. Miss Florence said, what? Yeah. Marsha said, congratulations. That's awesome. Anyways, all right, guys. Let me stop messing with y'all. We going to Uganda, but we're not going to live in Uganda. So, Miss Florence, don't worry. We are going to be here. I had to hurry up and say that because I know Miss Florence was over there losing it. Like, oh no, y'all not. Y'all ain't going nowhere. No, we're gonna be right here, Miss Florence. So we'll see you on Thursday. We'll see you Thursday at the same place. No, here's the real announcements, guys. Most of you guys probably already know. The reason why my wife, has been looking even 1,000,000 times more radiant than she has before is because we are expecting our 4th child together, guys. We are expecting our 4th child together. And that's for real. That ain't no joke. That's for real. Come on, stand up.
I don't know. Let me see if I can stand up, y'all. I know y'all done seen and y'all was like, what's going on? Nika kind of big, but nobody never asked me. Nobody
That's
never
the
asked
baby
me
right
nothing
there.
about nothing.
Yeah.
But I knew y'all knew it, Portia. But nobody never said nothing. Why y'all ain't say nothing? Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, anyways, don't call yet. This is for real now. This is the truth, y'all. She really is pregnant.
So,
We're not gonna tell y'all. This will be my 5th. This will be our 4th together. We'll tell y'all what it is. We found out what it is today, but we'll tell y'all what it is later. But Portia, remember what I told y'all when y'all was over here one day, and I said, listen, I'm telling. We didn't know then. She was only weeks when I said that when y'all was over here. I said, if you remember, you and Jaquan, I looked at her and I said, I'm telling you right now, I know you are. I said, just remember what I said. If 5 months from now you start sticking out and all of that, remember what I said. You pregnant. I told her that she pregnant. I don't know if you remember that, but anyways, yeah. So. She's pregnant.
She might have did. Yeah, she did. And it was
because she said it, and I think what she said. Did she say that night when it was here?
She said, I think, yeah, she said it. Yeah.
And then that's what made me tell her that I told you that already.
No, we were sitting in the living room and Portia mentioned something about I think she said y'all gonna have another one soon or something like that. I can't remember, but well, yeah. So that was 5 months ago, Portia, and yes, we are.
Well, like I said,
5 months and 1 week.
You might have said it to her or whatever the case may be, or you might even said the dream or whatever. I don't know, but I know I told her, and I remember telling you that I told her that. So, but it is what it is, Yeah, we definitely are getting ready to have our 4th child together. So y'all pray for us.
What y'all think it is? What y'all think?
Yeah, what y'all think it is? We never did a baby reveal, thing or whatever the case may be. Maybe we should do that to have some fun, huh? Who want to plan us a baby reveal?
What?
Don't everybody speak at one time. But yeah.
Portia said girl.
Okay, Portia said it's a girl.
Robin girl. Well,
Denise a boy.
I guess we'll
Denise,
see.
you probably knew already anyway, so.
Everybody knew. Boy, y'all cannot tell me y'all did not know.
Y'all better had known. She over here swelling up. What y'all think this is? Y'all know I would have been like, baby, I don't mean no harm, but you're looking a little
even
healthy.
Me. Dude, y'all crazy.
You know what? Brina said the same thing. Brina was like, when she saw, she was like, at first, she was like, you know what? Nika can lose weight anytime. So maybe she because she said you always lose weight quick, up and down. And that's true. So then she was like, but then we was at my mother's house and you fixed a big plate of food and she know you don't eat a lot. You fixed a big plate of food, and she said you tore that plate up. And she asked you, was you hungry? And you said, no, I'm feeding Mikey. She said, Mikey ain't eating none of that.
Yeah, well.
Oh, man.
It got me again.
Look, Denise, that's right, Denise. Good loving.
Well, it's indeed a blessing, y'all. I'm so grateful, and it's a blessing to be able to be a part of being a giver of life, we have to put things into perspective sometimes. Even being on platforms like this and being in leadership positions, and just be grateful for the path that God has placed it on, placed you on, and just be able to just walk in it, and just know that everything has a purpose. Period.
That's right.
Yeah.
And as God-fearing people and knowing that you're walking in His will, even the things that He allow in your life that don't have purpose, you have the authority to give it purpose. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I give all my kids purpose, regardless of how they came, when they came, whatever. You have the authority to give it purpose. You know what I mean? Just like when bad things happen in your life or whatever, you can let it be a thing that makes you feel defeated and beat you down and whatever the case may be, or you can give it purpose and say, I'm going to allow this to serve a purpose of, what God has for me. Like in other words, what the devil meant for bad, God will turn it around for your good. It starts with you. You decide. Like they say, life is what 99%, 95% of what happens to us, and 5% of how we react to it, or whatever, or something like that, or whatever. The other way around. You know what I mean? It's 5% of what happens to us, and 90-something% of how we react to it. So that's the truth. You know what I mean? So and it's so great to be able to talk like this now, because in the beginning when we first found out, y'all, we've been holding this secret for pretty much for 5 years. I think she was
months.
5 years, 5 months. You know what I mean? Because I think she was about like 3 or 4 weeks when we found out. Yeah. So well, I've been new. I knew so much that I did something I never did in my life. I went to the store and bought the pregnancy test. Yeah. So yeah, guys. So, and in the beginning, I was like, oh man, it was so much I wanted to do this year, and next year was supposed to be breakout year for me, and all of this stuff. We're supposed to be in Dominican Republic. We're supposed to be in Dominican Republic right now as we speak, but we couldn't go and do that trip, or whatever the case may be. So, you know, I hope my sister and my pastor over there having a good time. I hope they over there enjoying themselves. Really wish we could have been there with you guys. So yeah, that's it, guys. We're gonna close on that note. We want to pray real quick. If I leave y'all with nothing else, give whatever happens in your life purpose. Let us pray. Anybody out there who wants to know who God is, all you have to do is ask Him. All you have to do is ask Him. All you have to do is pray and say, God, come into my life. God, I want you to reveal yourself to me. Show me who you are. Show me the blood of Jesus. Show me what it means, what it symbolizes. Allow me to experience a touch of your Holy Spirit so that I can confess and say, I believe that He died for my sins. And I believe that through Him, I am adopted as one of your kids. And I believe that I am a son of God. And I believe that I am an heir. And I believe that I am the seed of Abraham, and I am a part of the lineage of Christ, and I believe that I have Christ-like potential inside of me. If you want this, all you have to do is ask for it, and I guarantee you that the Spirit of God that is in you will awaken, and you will receive that. So if this is what you want, pray that prayer, and I guarantee you that God will continue to transform your life day by day. Scripture says, beloved, now are we the sons of God, and it does not yet appear what we shall be, but when He comes, we shall be like Him, for we shall see Him for who He is. So, with that being said, know that when you embark on this journey, it is a day-to-day process. You have to keep on moving forward. Even if you're not going to lose everything bad or everything that's not good for you, it's not going to happen overnight. You have to keep moving forward. That's the only way you're going to make it there. It is so much other things in my life that I still need God to correct. I still need God to fix. But He's the only one that can do it. Religious leaders can't do it. Self-righteous people can't do it. All they will try to do is pull you back into what you used to do by telling you you're not adequate enough to continue to move forward or to operate right on the level where you are. But you have to keep on moving and keep on pushing. Get in your spirit and within yourself that I am going to do whatever God says I can do anyway. So, you know, yeah, they don't like it, but I'm going to do what God says I can do anyway. Yeah, I might still have this habit, but I'm going to do what God said I should do anyway. Yeah, I might still have these things in my life that need to be corrected, but I'm going to do what God told me to do anyway. And as you keep on doing that, God will continue to peel off the layers of sin, peel off the layers of doubt, peel off the layers of regret, peel off the layers of depression, peel off the layers of feelings of worthlessness, peel off everything, all of those things that is not conducive for where He wants to take you to. He'll peel it off slowly but surely, because His grace is sufficient for you now. Whom He called, He predestined, He glorified, He justified to be conformed into the image of His Son and daughter. You are a child of God. We love you. We will see y'all next Monday. We will give you more announcements. Don't forget, people, Mind, Body, and Soul on Thursday between the hours of 6 and 7. We will be at Lee Road, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. If you need any more information concerning this, please inbox me or contact my wife or any of her many first cousins that y'all know will get in touch with her right quick. And to all the first cousins and all of the family members, y'all please make sure y'all continue to keep coming out to these things. And if you haven't been yet, please come out. Please come out. We need your support. Not only do we need your support, we also want you to see what's going on. We want you guys to experience firsthand what takes place when people meet together under one common cause. So see you guys later. And we love you. Thank you for all the congratulations and things like that. We will share with y'all at a later date what it will be. I don't know if we're going to do a baby reveal whole thing yet or whatever, but we will let y'all know. And that's about it. Talk to you later. Bye.
Love you guys. Good night. Good night. Love you.